India was the country with many kings and chiefs. The Mughal emperors brought them under their control by many ways. Number one, they allowed the old rulers to continue to rule the kingdom by collecting some revenue from them. Number two, Mughals constantly forced the rulers who refused to accept their authority. Number three, many Rajputs refused to accept the Mughal authorities, but Mughals were good enough to handle the situation by marrying their daughters and gave high positions in the kingdom. Jahangir mother was the daughter of Rajput ruler of Amber. Also, Shah Jahan's mother was the daughter of the Rajput ruler of Jodhpur. Number 4, the Sisidia Rajputs of Chittor refused to accept Mughals for a long period of time, but they were defeated by Mughals. However, they were given back their land as an assignment. As the Mughals expanded their empire by including many regions, they needed more persons to look after many kinds of work like guarding their palace, governing some regions, conquering a new kingdom, etc. For all these purposes, Mughals recruited large numbers of diverse kinds of people and designated them as rank holders or Mansabdars. So, people who joined to serve under Mughals were called as Mansabdars. Let us have a close look about who are Mansabdars and their responsibilities. Well, Mansabdars are those who work directly under the control of the emperor. They could not act or take decisions independently. Mughals constantly transferred Mansabdars from one place to another for every 2 or 3 years. This way, Mughals made sure that no Mansabdars would get power in their region and call himself an emperor, which had happened in the case of Nayaks in Vijayanagara Empire. Mansabdar's son could not become Mansabdar by default. Only the emperor had the authority to decide whether to appoint Mansabdar's son as Mansabdar or not.
The Mansabdar's military responsibility was to maintain a specified number of horse riders known as cavalrymen. The Mansabdar would bring his cavalryman for review, get them registered, his horses branded, and then receive money to pay them as salary.
Mansabdars received their salaries as revenue assignment called Jagirs. Jagir is basically a small territory which an emperor can give to an army chief as recognition of his military service. Most of the Mansabdars did not actually reside in or administer their Jagirs. They could only collect the revenue due from their Jagir villages with the help of servants, Jagirdars, and sent to the emperor. The Jagir was administered by the other officials directly under the emperor. Even the Jagirs were constantly transferred once in every 2 or 3 years.
In Akbar's reign, Jagirs were carefully assessed so that their revenues were more or less equal to the salary of the Mansabdars. But during Aurangzeb's reign, there were more number of Mansabdars, which led to the shortage of Jagirs. Aurangzeb was not able to manage Mansabdars and Jagirdars properly, and as a result, farmers suffered terribly. The main source of income available to Mughal rulers was tax on the produce of the peasantry. Todarmal, revenue minister of Akbar, carried surveys on crop yields, prices and areas cultivated for a 10-year period, 1570 to 1580 AD. Basing on this data, tax rates were fixed for each crop. Each province was divided into revenue circles with its own schedule of revenue rates for individual crops. This revenue system was known as Zabt. Zamindars. The Mughals used one term, Zamindars, to describe all intermediaries. The Zamindars were not appointed by Mughal emperors, but existed on hereditary basis, that is, sons succeeded when the fathers died. They often acted as representatives of the local people in dealing with the Mughal officials.